All right, everybody, here's the RD6 bush. Definitely more my line, not the original RD lines, you know, with the 1/4-inch thick spines and the 5160 high carbon steel. Those are great knives, don't get me wrong, but this is much more, you know, out in the wilderness, survival, just a little bit lighter, does more for you, I think. So I'm just going to kind of get out of the way and do some just whittling. You just kind of show you how it can handle. I mean, this is a big knife, don't get me wrong. 6-inch blade, 5.65 inch cutting surface. I mean, it's a good size knife. So we're just going to kind of just do some carving here before we go on to some of the other tests that we got planned. And you can see there, I've already done a bunch of work with this knife. Still holding an edge well, shaving well, carving well. That finger choil is awesome. I love that. Feels really good. I can choke up and really wield this large knife and do my really detailed work, my fine work if I need to, without difficulty at all. I really like that. And then if I back up like this, and I hold it in my hand, like I said earlier, I believe, you know, the RD5 and the RD7 have a little bit more comfortable, larger micarta handles. This handle is almost too small for me, and I wear large size gloves. You can see there the spanning. When I'm working with it, I don't really have a lot of room left over. I do like the thumb ramp though that it gives me with the set of jimping. That's really nice. Gives me the opportunity just to kind of back up if I have to. And then if I go to the reverse grip, holding it reverse, I'm going to do a chest pull. It's comfortable. And I can do that chest pull without too much trouble. And even as I'm doing this chest pull, you can see it's comfortable, it's easy for me. The thing is, that palm swell right there isn't really comfortable in my hand when I hold it backwards, reverse grip, and I do the chest pull. It is kind of making my hand feel a little awkward. Now I can do this just fine. It's not bad. It's just, again, these micarta handle cutouts just aren't ideal for me. I don't really care for them. It's too fat and pudgy right here for me. I'd rather see that cut in a little bit, like the rat knives. The rat knives just feel a little bit better in my hand for that type of use. Again, not a bad handle. It's just not super comfortable like some other knives like the RD5 and RD7 that I've used. All right, we're gonna do a tip test really quick with this RD6 bush. Just kind of test it out on this really hard piece of wood. I mean, you're going to be able to really stab in there and penetrate. Oh yeah. Pry with it if you had to. And you're not worried about breaking or snapping the tip. You can see there I can get really deep in there, putting all my pressure on it as I pry. And you can see that chip's not breaking or bending or, you know, getting messed up or jacked up in any way. I can really get in there if I had to. I mean, not ideal, not what you want to be doing with a knife, but if you had to, you can definitely do it. Definitely penetrates a little bit better than some of the other drop point designed rat model knives. So this is great tactical stabber if you had to out in the wilderness or in tactical formats overseas. Either way, it's going to stab and penetrate really well. Okay, we're going to do some batoning with the RD6 bush. There we go. Now we're talking. Got to another good knot here. Dead center in a knot. It's given though. There we go. Just got to stay the course and it will split wood. Woo! Keep going here a little bit longer. That's what's really nice about these RD knives. Most Ontario Knife Company knives, they are durable. You can kick the crap out of them, beat on them. And aside from some scuffing on the finish, they're not gonna, they'll take basically whatever you can throw at it, which is nice that you can, I don't know, just rely on a knife you know, to be able to do that, and you're not really worried about it snapping or breaking on you. Let's see how this does here. Boom, right through another knot. Whew. So, RD6, 5.5 inch cutting space from edge to tip. If you can span it, you can split it, and it is a durable little beast. So RD6 does awesome when it comes to batoning. Alright, so I just wanted to show you the RD6 sheath and just talk a little bit about the knife. The sheath itself has a nice pocket in the front. You could put a Leatherman or sharpening tool or another you know, pocket knife in there. 2 rivets down there for leg straps. And then you have 2 lashings right here that are buttoned, which is an upgrade over the older RD models versus the RD Bush, that they're buttons instead of Velcro, and that they're adjustable back here, so you can really get it nice and tight. And that's really nice because you button both of these, they clasp really nice, strong. And then there's no way I'm pulling as hard as I can. This is not coming out, and it has a secondary lashing here, so this is jump ready because it has 3 sets of lashing that you can do. So this is jump compatible. Has that plastic inserted sheet insert in there. It does rattle a lot, but this is a much better Ontario. Good job. This is a very doable sheath. I wouldn't replace it, you know, or have to try and build a Kydex one. I really appreciate that. And then you got Molly all along the back that you could lash it to either your gear or your pack, and then you got your nice big belt loop as well. So that's the sheath itself. Good, definitely an upgrade over the older sheaths. Now onto the knife itself here, just the basic specs, so we can kind of talk about that and get back into the testing and all that other stuff. You're looking at a weight of 12.8 ounces. You're looking at an overall length of 11.5 inches with an actual cutting edge of 5.65 inches and an actual length of 6. That's why it's called the RD6 Bush. 1095 high carbon steel, 0.19 inches thick. So it's not quite a 1/4 inch thick like the older RD models. Those still are in production, but they're a 1/4 inch thick. This is 0.9 inches thick. Nice kind of clip point design, unsharpened. There's no sharps, you know, there's not a swedge up here, which is nice. So it's a really aggressive kind of clip / drop point design there. And then the handles themselves with that pommel back there that you could do either, you know, non-lethals or hammer in a tent peg or something like that. The micarta scales are 3/4 of an inch thick as well. So just overall, just kind of give you some perspective of my thoughts, is that if you are going out for deployment and you're a soldier, the RD model, the RD6 Bush or RD4 Bush or RD7, whatever, is going to be a great tactical knife, you know, just because of the piercing and the ability to stab if you needed to with that tip is much better than, say, the RAT5 or RAT7. Just that design is going to penetrate way better. Now, with that being said, this weighs the same amount as a RAT7. The RAT7 weighs 12.5 ounces. This weighs actually 12.8. So for the weight, I would recommend, if you are just using this more as a survival bush knife, go with the RAT7. It's going to be the exact same weight. You're going to get an extra inch of cutting capability, and the handle is just a little bit more comfortable. This is more, I would say, tactical first, bush second, whereas the Rat knives, the RAT5 and RAT7, are bush first, tactical second. So it just kind of depends on what more you're going for, but the price points are different. This would go for about $70, and the RAT7 goes for about $100. So it's about, the RAT7 is about $30 more. So it just really depends on what you're going to use this knife for, how you're going to use it. It's a very capable knife. I like it a lot, but definitely tactical first, I would say survival second. And those are just kind of my feel for it. I like the Rat handles just slightly better. They just fit my hand a little bit better. That's not to say these are bad handle scales. They're exact same thickness. I just like the cutouts and how they form the RAT5 and RAT7 handles slightly better than the RD Ranger deployment knives, a little bit better. But aside from that, great knife, particularly for the price, particularly if you're collecting, you know, Ontario Knife Company blades or whatever. The RD6 Bush is definitely, for the price, an awesome knife. All right, here's some more chopping with the RD6 bush. I will say as I'm chopping, this handle hook back here is really nice. I can cup that, get two of my fingers on there, and as I'm swinging, my hand doesn't want to slide out and the knife doesn't want to go flying. I can really cup it back there with that little, just cup is really nice. I'll say that this is a moderate chopper. I mean, it's okay, it does a good job. I mean, but it does weigh 12 ounces. And I don't know, I've had other knives that can chop a little bit better for that weight. It's not bad by any means, and it's going to do a lot for you. It just, I wouldn't write home about like, oh my gosh, it's the best chopper on the planet. That's why you need a lanyard. I just didn't have time to put one on today before we went out and tested it. There we go. So, I mean, it's an okay chopper. Not like write home about or anything like that. There you go. RD6 bush. Well, I gotta say, this RD6 bush, man, is doing a really good job getting this feathering going. It's comfortable in my hand. That finger choil does a great job when I can choke up, and I can, you know, get some tinder going for my fire. Holding an edge well, biting in there really nice. Yeah, I definitely dig that. Back up a little bit. That thumb ramp does a really good job. Bites into my thumb really well. It's not sliding around, wanting to go anywhere. It's definitely easier to use this knife with gloves because I know it does have some sharp angles on the handle, and the jimping, you know, bites in good to your finger, but you just got to be careful. Even like this little part right here, without gloves can get kind of uncomfortable just because it's kind of a sharp angle right there. But yeah, man, that detail work with the RD6 bush was an awesome job.